Ivan, this Mercedes is full of bird bombs, bug guts, and what else?
It has artillery fungus. Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Artillery fungus is something, or also called shotgun fungus. It's thrown out of a fungus, a little spore on the ground, usually from mulch, and onto the surface of a vehicle. And it looks like little black dots, like we can see right there. Get a little black dot. They have a bit of texture to them. They're not flat. They're not like a piece of tar. They're really hard, and they don't come off with washing. But stay tuned, we have a way of getting them off.
Do they come off when you're decontaminating with your clay
No.
towel?
So the decontamination towel will remove the heads, but not the roots. These actually are like a little gluey substance that gets thrown out. It hits the paint, and then it forms roots into the paint. And we need to remove those because they keep growing and growing and growing. If you have a white house with mulch out front, there's a good chance you've got little black dots of artillery fungus on your house. If you park a white vehicle near fresh mulch, there's a good chance you'll get artillery fungus on it. If they've just been on for a day or two, they come off easily. This car, I think they've been on much, much longer.
Does it only happen on white paint?
No, any light colored paint. So the artillery fungus is in their DNA, they aim towards light. White car, sun hitting it. We've got this nice white, bright area. The artillery fungus goes, there's a new home, and shoots it there.
And we're trying to kick it out of this home.
Right.
And we're gonna show you how to do that.
So first, we need to wash the car. To wash the car, Nick, I think these wheels need a little more help than usual.
Yep.
So we'll start with iron remover on them.
I love iron remover on wheels, Ivan. Holy, look at how purple those are.
Yeah, it didn't take long. No, those
Wow.
were really bad.
Holy cow. So what's going on with wheels that are this dirty?
Lots of brake dust. And that brake dust translates into what you see there.
Wow.
So these wheels looked almost black when we started, and that was all that brake dust. We'll add a bit of all clean to help even more. Get it in those barrels. Now the all clean, you'll notice how well it's foaming. That's because we have it in an IK foamer. It's diluted 15-to-1 out of the gallon. But we've added just a little touch of Incredible Suds.
You don't need to do that, but it does allow for a little more dwell time.
Yeah. And on these wheels, the more dwell time we get, the better it is. As Nick gets the rinseless wash on the surface, take a look at all the grime coming off these wheels. That is quite a pretty sight to see, actually. By getting the rinseless wash on the surface, we have a nice, beautiful layer of rinseless wash, those surfactants, those polymers, breaking down the dirt, lifting it off the surface, and making it safer to rinse away. We don't want to take a pressure washer to a dirty car immediately because that can cause issues. 1,000 pounds of pressure pushing up against this dirt could scratch your paint. We can see how the rinseless has really picked up the dirt on the roof here and making it rinse away easily. Even without scrubbing, these wheels have dramatically changed.
It's like a touch-free wash, Ivan.
Almost. Bit additional all clean on the wheels because they can use it. And a little bit on the front here. There's a few insects that being a little more tenacious. Before cleaning the surface with a sponge, a little more rinseless. Give us more lubrication. While the
Take
rinse and
pride.
wash is dwelling on the surface, grabbing the brush, starting on the tires. It's incredible how clean these wheels got just with the pre-spray and the rinse. You can see how nasty the brush is getting. One dunk, comes out clean. From there, contact wash, using the legacy sponge, no pressure, just lightly going over the surface. If you have a lot of accumulated dirt on the surface, use your sponge twice. You can see the dirt we pick up off the surface comes out with ease. But this vehicle has a lot of traffic film on it, so going over an area twice, especially the bottoms here, makes a good difference.
The ultimate test. Does DIY detail rinseless wash really work? Look at what I picked up on my legacy sponge. That ain't coming away, is it? I probably need to launder this thing 7 times, 7 different detergents, or what if I just, just try it. Dip it in the rinseless wash bucket. Looks pretty dirty, right? What? It's all clean. Yvan,
Yes,
tell me why this works. My sponge is clean. I didn't even rub it against the grit guard.
science.
Rinseless wash is amazing. What if people want to use one side of the sponge and then the other on every panel no matter what? Is there anything wrong with that?
Not at all. Now it's clean, but we need to decontaminate it. Because this vehicle felt really scratchy under the sponge.
It sure did.
And being a white vehicle, there's a good chance it could benefit a lot from iron remover. One of the areas that could use iron remover the most is behind the wheels here. Let me just spray some on and let it sit there for a minute, and you'll see what it does. Now, the way we normally do it, one spray on the panel and match them up. And that's actually the most effective way of using iron remover. But some people just like to spray and watch it turn red.
It's tempting to want to go after all these bug guts, speaking of iron remover, just with your sponge, but I would save that for the decon stage. This towel doesn't even need the iron remover for those bug guts, but the towel will do a nice job on those areas.
Yeah.
So even with just rinseless as my lubrication, you can see this bug gut right here. I just washed it with my legacy sponge, couple passes, it didn't go anywhere. I could use iron remover because I'm going to be decontaminating anyway, but just to show you with the right lubrication what this sponge is capable of, I'm using no pressure. All I'm doing is giving it a few extra passes. If you use pressure, you could mar the paint. And the whole idea with our decon towel is you're not going to mar paint if you use proper lubrication and you fold the towel. And I was just patient. And it did take me that many passes. I'll just do a quick flip side to a clean pass. I didn't mar the paint up. I promise you, we're not scratching it. The bug gut is dislodged. At that point, I am gonna dip this back in the bucket just because I know I went after something that I could actually see as opposed to this contamination, which we can't really see, Yvan.
No.
And it's perfectly safe. But if I know I'm dislodging chunks of, bug guts, I will dip it back in the bucket. But super rewarding way to use this towel, even when we're not going after anything in particular. Just bug guts on your windshield and bug guts on your front bumper. The towel does a phenomenal job. And I would have been using iron remover, but I just wanted to show you how effective the towel is simply with rinseless wash or Incredible Suds as your lubricant. And it's just gonna brighten up white paint. Beautiful how this works without even polishing, Yvan.
Yeah. And just say the upper surfaces are slightly contaminated.
Yeah, I'm definitely going back to my iron remover here. Some people ask us, how do I clean and store my decontamination towel? If you're a working detailer, if you're washing cars every day, I just leave it in my wash bucket, honestly, overnight. I don't know if that's recommended, Yvan, but
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
it stays very nicely lubricated for me. And it's just easy. And I've got it ready to go. Even if I mix up a new bucket, just dump out the solution, grab my towel, hang it on the side of another bucket as I re-up my Incredible Suds rinseless and drop it back in. And it feels like it's home, and it likes that home. Now, are we going after everything on the surface, or is there another secret in this decontamination step for arterial fungus?
Well, the artillery fungus, some of it will come off with the decontamination towel. But if it doesn't come off with the decontamination towel, it'll come off with the next step.
Why don't we just spray the whole car with iron remover? That seems like the thing that iron remover was meant to do, and it looks great on videos.
Looks great on videos, and we can see I actually sprayed the section here, and you can see all these little red tracers. Now, these red tracers where I sprayed it, that's fun, but I haven't removed the iron. All we've done is removed the rust behind the little iron particle. When we were using the decontamination towel, we removed that piece of metal, leaving just a little rust stain behind. That's why you don't see as many red tracers, because with the decontamination towel, we've removed 90% of it. Now I'm gonna leave that undone with the decontamination towel. We'll rinse and just show you a little test on this. I'll do this door the way we normally do. Actually, the contamination on this door is pretty heavy. I've let the iron remover dwell on this portion and we can see the red tracers, but on the door I did it the way we normally do. Let me just rinse this section off quickly. I'm gonna spray iron remover on again, but in both areas. We'll see which one has more red tracers. The one where we let the iron remover dwell and quote unquote do its thing, or where we helped it along with the decontamination towel. In the meantime, I'll rinse off the rest of the car. Are you ready for that, Nick?
Nope.
No? Okay. Let me know when you are. So we can see the red tracers starting to appear everywhere there's iron on this section. But on the door, where we used the iron remover and decontamination towel and did a lot less spraying, a lot less product, we're actually getting a much better job. There's no tracers there at all. Let sit for another moment or two and show you the results. So since I'm done rinsing the rest of the vehicle, let's take a look at this one section here. I didn't rinse off the door and I didn't rinse off behind the wheel. If we look behind the wheel, we have all these red tracers from the iron remover because we didn't agitate it. We just let it dwell. We go to the door, there's no red tracers. It's the way it should be. We're not gonna leave it that way, trust me. So one spray on the towel, one spray on the panel, match them up. Now we really decontaminated. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for you, the iron remover and the decontamination towel actually took care of that artillery fungus. I was hoping that it wouldn't, because sometimes it doesn't, because artillery fungus occasionally needs a little more work than that. But the secret to removing artillery fungus is our water spot remover. The water spot remover dissolves those roots that the artillery fungus puts out very quickly and easily, and without a lot of mess. So if you do have artillery fungus that doesn't come off like we've done here, that's your next step. Like I said, unfortunately, there might be some on the other side. Nick, were there any remaining on your side?
No, I think that's probably why I don't know what artillery fungus is, because most of the time, in my experience, I probably never saw it after the decon step with the towel because it came off. But there are times when it won't, and that's what water spot remover is so good at. Apparently, because Ivan tells me this, I didn't know what artillery fungus was.
Right, so the water spot remover, the components of it help break down the artillery fungus roots that take place and goes away easily. Like I said, in this case, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, but unfortunately for you, we don't get to show you the exact thing that we wanted to. Nonetheless, we're cleaning your car beautifully. Speaking of cleaning it beautifully, Nick, and water spot remover, there's always a place in our heart for water spot remover when it comes to decontamination. Water spot remover is a great tool to help in decontaminating the paint. We're spraying it on, letting it dwell for a few seconds, and then simply rinsing it away.
This is one of those products you can be a little liberal with it. And the reason we're endorsing what could be deemed an overuse of product is we're not gonna agitate this in. If we're doing polishing prep, we're doing ceramic coating prep, this is where we'd actually agitate it with a rinseless wash dampened towel. But this is more of just a wash, not a, you gotta spend 20 hours doing everything perfect. We're decontaminating properly, we're gonna protect it. It is a thorough wash, Yvan.
Yeah.
But we're not locking in a ceramic coating for years to come. And this is, to me, a little bit more sustainable. It skips a wiping step.
Right.
It's something that's gonna make you wanna do this again, not think, oh, I gotta do the whole rigmarole, right? And it's just an extra wiping step, but you know,
Yeah.
I know what it's like out there, folks. You wanna keep it fun, so you do it more often. And really, you could use water spot remover after every wash if you want to. There's no need. But in wintertime, especially if you got a ceramic coating that you want the beating back, the salt they put on the roads, it kicks up, it embeds those minerals into the pores of whatever's on your paint or your paint itself. This is going to help rejuvenate your paint.
Right. Speaking of which, pressure washer, you need to rinse it off. Now there is a dramatic change in the water behavior when you use water spot remover because it's removing all those embedded minerals.
It just occurred to me that we're in a controlled environment, out of direct sunlight. I know what the real world is like. You have hard water, the sun's beating down, you rinse a section, it dries automatically just because how hot it is. If that's the case, I would not spray water spot remover everywhere. You're not wanting any of these chemicals to dry on the surface, but especially with water spot remover, just do a section at a time, Yvan.
Yep, section at a time.
The amount of work I'm doing squeegeeing should be the amount of effort you're putting into not letting things dry in direct sunlight. So if you can work in a shaded area of your driveway, if you can work at night or in the morning, just honor the sun for what it can do.
Yeah. Now, this is our last day of filming here in Omaha for this session. And, you know, Nick's gonna miss his squeegee, so I'm gonna rinse just a little bit more.
Oh, perfect.
Quick beads as our drying aid, but we're actually gonna go a little past quick beads in terms of a drying aid, because we're gonna give this the ultimate in drying, meaning quick beads to start, and then ceramic gloss with our towel.
So it's gonna be so slick, our drying towel won't even touch the surface.
Something like that. It feels that way.
Yeah.
So I'll let the quick beads settle for a moment or two on the roof, then I'll rinse the roof off, and then work my way down the side of the vehicle. We're working in a controlled environment. That means I can spray the whole side of the vehicle and then rinse it off, which is what I'm gonna do on this side, and we'll show you on the other side as well. Making sure to get the wheels Once I've sprayed a section, in this case the whole side, I take my pressure washer and I flip the wand upside down. I'm going from the bottom up. I'm trying to spread the quick beads on the surface. I'm not trying to rinse it off the surface. Once I've rinsed up, then I rinse back down. As I mentioned, this is our last filming day of this trip to Omaha. What do you think is going to change in the shop the next time we come back? Because every time we come back, there's slight improvements here and there. The contractors have time to do a bit of work and get things the way we'd like them to be eventually. We have a plan for this place, but it's taking a bit of time.
I want a big air compressor in here.
That would be spectacular.
Then we can do some real interior detailing videos.
Yeah. So I rinse the quick beads up the hood and then back down the hood. As some of you have expressed, you don't like beading. Well, if you don't like beading, you can sheet water as well. The more volume of water you have, the more it sheets, the less it beads. Here, Nick, do this side. I'll take care of the squeegee.
Oh man, what an honor.
Have fun.
Where did you leave off?
This whole side needs to be done in the back.
Of course, we don't forget the wheels when we're applying quick beads, folks. We do not forget about the wheels.
Never.
I like to work quick beads pretty quick, Ivan. I like to get it on the paint and rinse it off. Just a personal preference. I know we can allow for a little more dwell time. Of course, I'm saying that as I go to Spray Town. But immediately, I'm gonna hit the pressure washer on this. I wish folks could feel the paint under the drying towel after using quick beads, because that is one of the best features that we can never actually have them experience without actually using it.
Yeah. If you have used quick beads before, let the other people know in the comments how it feels.
Just for fun, I'm gonna go no ceramic gloss for a little wipe here. Such a joy. Oh, it's such a joy, Ivan. But ceramic gloss, a couple of sprays, that's all we need. Just a couple is all I'm gonna use.
Just a couple sprays? Are you okay?
I'm okay, it's a big hood. If Ivan wasn't watching, I probably would have done 3. But 2 is all you need, 2 is all you need. 3 would be fine, 4 is way too much. The truth is you don't need anything at this point because quick beads is a drying aid.
Right.
So 1 spray on this front fender. That's not just for the camera. That's not just because I'm exercising restraint. Truly all I needed was 1 spray. And once this drying blanket gets primed with ceramic gloss on it, then you're golden anyway. You're still working ceramic gloss into the paint, even without a spray. Ivan, is there a scientific benefit to ceramic gloss on top of quick beads?
You're gonna get a little more slickness, a little more durability, and a fun factor. Now, we're in a controlled environment, so I'm just gonna lightly mist on ceramic gloss over the surface. Don't need a lot.
It's easy to breeze around the car and do this super fast and leave a bunch of spots. What's also kind of easy is spending a little extra time getting my drying towel on every surface, making sure that I've thoroughly dried it, knowing there was gonna be drips later,
Yep.
but not missing a spot. I used to be just so fast, let me get this done. Okay, I'm done. And you missed too many spots. And you're stressed out. I've never seen one move slower or get the job done faster than you, Ivan.
I'm going back to our small towels.
Oh, you love those twist loops, huh?
Yeah. Nice little twist loop towel. Does a great job of drying the surface. Like the other towel, needs to get a little moisture in it before it starts picking up properly. And that's why I like to start on the hood. Just allows me to pick up a little moisture, and then. Now I have a towel in each hand. Allows me to work a little faster, and each hand has something to do.
Do both hands want something to do? Is that what hands are all about?
They like to help.
We know this mirror is gonna drip forever, huh?
Yes, we are.
What do we do about that?
We have a drip catcher for that.
What's that?
Well, there's one right behind your cart.
What, you mean this?
Yes.
Let's see. I think I've seen these on the internet. How do they work? You just, oh, these aren't magnetized. What's the panel under here?
Should be aluminum.
It's not sticking.
No. So wrap the towel onto itself.
Gosh, so if it doesn't stick, don't give up. Don't give up. Boom. 2 magnets. You just tuck in it like bedtime. I always like to tuck it in at bedtime. Make sure I pat the surface so any drips go into that towel and let it be.
Even though this is a coupe, it's actually quite a large car.
I wouldn't want to parallel park it, Yvan. Although I'm sure with all the cameras, it would be pretty easy.
Yeah. Now that my towel is getting a little damper, it's actually easier to wipe this up.
I don't know if it's the ceramic gloss or the quick beads, but it just makes drying so easy.
The two combined are like a superpower of drying.
I use ceramic gloss all the time and I really love it, but the quick beads just feel so nice under your towel.
Yeah, it adds a slickness.
I'm very serious about this. I take it seriously. It's a realization that I need more quick beads in my life, Yvan.
Yep.
I just don't have access to a hose very often, so I'm often going through the touchless and then using ceramic gloss as my wipe down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But I need the quick beads experience. This thing is it is a joy to use.
Yeah, now you don't need a pressure washer for quick beads. A garden hose does just as good a job.
True statement.
Now that I have all the uppers done, quickly go down the sides. And I'm wiping the majority off with the first towel, spreading the quick beads, letting it sit for a few seconds. I'm not in a rush to get that last little bit of moisture. That's where the second towel comes in. That last little bit of moisture will be picked up with ease.
And I'm spraying ceramic gloss on the wheel face for that final inspection, that final amount of lubrication, protection, and shine, drying down these wheels, preparing for the final send-off.
When it first came in, this car was looking a little sad, a little worse for wear, but now it's a nice, shiny, white, glossy coupe.
Are you a white Mercedes kind of guy, Yvan?
I'm not a white car kind of guy.
I don't mind white cars, to be honest with you. I know they say to the world, I play it safe. They're not a mysterious, dangerous, sexy black convertible.
Yep.
But hey,
They definitely have their place.
they have their place. They don't show the dirt as much when they're dirty, and we all appreciate that a lot.
Well, they don't show the dirt when they're dirty, but as soon as you wash them, you can see where all the dirt was. If you miss a spot washing a white car, you'll definitely know it.
I'm making sure to wipe down this fender lip here at the end. Probably should have got this with the decon towel, Yvan. It's just a little grimy. Probably would have been better to do this with a decontamination towel, but cleaning it up just a little bit, not getting this part of the towel back on paint, it just helps to lock in the entire experience of how clean this vehicle is. There, that is just so satisfying. Again, not getting this towel back on paint, not even on the wheels. That's going in the dirty bin. We take paint safety seriously around here, Yvan.
Yes, we do.
What are your thoughts on the fender lip?
Fender lip is one of the last things you touch. Because yes, it is an important thing to clean.
How do you know where to stop with detailing? It feels like there's always more you could do.
There is always more. When you feel like it's time to go for a drive, go for a drive.
What about when you're a detailer?
You stop where the customer stops paying you.
A mistake early on is you just try to do it all.
Right. Some customers pay for a car wash, expecting a car wash, and the detailer goes just a little overboard. And actually the customer doesn't appreciate that extra work.
Sometimes it makes them uncomfortable if you're doing a mobile job at their house and you're there till 10 p.m. and they didn't want to pay you for that.
Yep.
They just wanted a basic thing. One time a customer sat me down at his kitchen table and said, I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't
do it
want
again.
it polished.
Yeah.
I don't want all these things. And he felt obligated to pay me more, and the whole thing was very awkward. And it's important to communicate. It's important to communicate.
Setting expectations. Now, I neglected putting the drip catcher on, and guess what? I've got a drip.
Now, if I'm wiping off the tire at the end,
Yep.
and I get some black and brown on there, does that mean I didn't clean the tire well enough?
No, that's actually means you did a good job. You know, a lot of detailers, I'm talking to you out there, overthink this and try to get all the browning off the tires. That's actually damaging the tires. You want to clean them? We clean them with the all clean and a brush. That's sufficient. Any browning that's left is actually good for your tire, and the tire dressing will take care of that brown, ugly color.
You might have saved a detailer out there an hour of just scrubbing browning out of tires.
Right, and it's actually damaging the tire to remove all of that. A lot of people, to remove all that, they're using extremely caustic chemicals that are bad for them, bad for the wheel, bad for the tire. Trying to get all that off to put tire dressing on it anyways. That browning, for lack of a better term, or to give you an easier to understand term, is an antioxidant. It's there to prevent the tire from going or from cracking too soon. It keeps the sidewalls lubricated. So now that I have the door jambs, the wheels dried, just give one last little pass on these lips, and off to the laundry it goes. The cherry on the sundae, the icing on the cake, the lipstick on the porcine. The brush makes it easy to apply and not get it on the wheel. 2 sprays on the brush, go around the tire, staying away from the wheel, and then you can actually tuck the brush into that little lip there between the tire and the wheel, go all the way around and get that dressed as well, without getting any tire dressing on the wheel itself.
A good time to do door jambs is right now at the end. Take a rinseless wash dampened towel, or if they're not too dirty, sometimes I'll just take the drying blanket that already has that ceramic gloss in it. Because the door jambs do get wet when you're involving a pressure washer.
Yes, they do.
They've got lubrication in there, probably from some rinseless. But I might take a rinseless dampened towel, some waterless wash, a spray of ceramic gloss with my already existing wet prime drying towel, and just wipe down the door jambs. Always kind of ties in the vehicle. Of course, you're going to see the tire lotion and the dressed tires first. I think that's the ultimate tying in of the vehicle. But
Yep.
just a layer below that in the onion is the door jambs. And
While you've got the door open there, sir, can you, oh, never mind, got it.
yeah.
I like to wipe off the trunk jam as well, because if you don't and they open it a little while later, of course it's going to drip. And also, as you're going down the road, the moisture that's accumulated here will drip down the bumper and taking away all that beautiful work you've done.
Now, if you've used rinseless wash and you don't put your iron remover soaked decon towel back in your rinseless wash bucket, you can actually take what looks like the murky wash bucket. Oh my gosh, Ivan. Dip a fresh rag in there, like microfiber.
Yep.
Wring it out and wipe down your interior. You can do that. Rinseless wash, even when it's emulsified a bunch of crud, is still great on interiors.
Definitely a rinseless wash, great for interiors, fun product to use, and does a quick job of it.
Definitely the most versatile product in any arsenal. I highly suggest it if you're a soap guy.
Yeah.
But we talked about a lot here, Ivan. And
We did.
I think the ultimate reality is we did a good job.
We did a good job. The car is bright, it's white, it's shiny. If you remember a Canadian band from the 70s talking about bright white sports car, leave it in the comments below. If you remember what that band is,
I have no idea what Ivan's talking about.
it was before you were born.
But I do know there's this Widow's Peak area, not only on the hood, but on the windshield. It's this little triangle in the middle that, watch me demonstrate. You do this, and you just miss that top. So I see a few drips. I'm never gonna forget about the Widow's Peak there.
Yep,
And boy, this strip catcher is versatile, isn't it, Ivan?
it sure is.
Super soft, safe on paint. Just make sure we get the Widow's Peak in the middle of the hood. And, well, like I said, it could be never ending, but I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, we've done a great job. We have a car that's back to being white, shiny, beautiful, and protected. Nick, is there another video they might want to watch on, let's say, not a white car?
There's a video all about protecting your vehicle, and it's about ceramic coatings, and if you like ceramic coatings but you don't know which one of our lineup to choose, here is an entire podcast about it where we deep dive into each ceramic coating in the lineup.